All right, all right. What's up, everybody? What's up? Welcome back to another Wednesday's BizBuzz Live. I'm Chris Muzan. Today's episode, we're talking about another industry to stay away from. Got to watch out for these industries, ladies and gentlemen, that you might be a part of, that you might think are going well or doing well, and all of a sudden they're collapsing. Got to talk about what to do about it. Stick around. All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome back. You called me. I was thinking about something different. I forgot that the video was playing. But we're back, guys, live. Another Wednesday here, BizBuzz Live. Again, I'm your host, Chris Muzan, your financial coach. We're live on LinkedIn, live on YouTube right now. And again, every Wednesday, we're bringing this to you guys so that you can join in on the conversation. Again, as a financial coach and as a financial professional, I've been in the industry for going on a decade now. And before we start diving into all of the financial things, the investments, the savings, the debt, the real estate, the whatever retirement accounts, the estate plans, whatever we're talking about, before it gets to that, we often are talking about cash flow. We're often talking about how we're bringing in income, And I believe that that is a topic that not enough of us have a conversation around. So for BizBuzz Live, we wanted to talk about career, talk about industry, talk about what's happening in your jobs, what's happening in business, what are your next moves, what questions can we answer when it comes to any of these types of things, when it comes to how we choose to make our money. We need a resource and we need people there to be able to help guide us down the path. And again, that's really something that we're here to do. We're here to have the conversation about what's happening with people's incomes and what we can do to change it. Before I dive into the industry we were going to talk about today, I found this, and we talked about this before, and my wife and I talked about this on a different platform. But we talked about this article that had come out around the fact that people need a lot of money, right? A substantial amount of money in order to live comfortably, right? So this article came from Smart Asset or Yahoo or CNBC. I can't remember, but it basically said for a family of four to live comfortably, how much does that family need to bring in? And it broke it down by state. But it basically said for a family of four, like how much needs to come in, right? And here's the graphic. Here's the graphic of what needs to or what should come in. Let me see if I can put it over here. So depending on what state you're in, right? Depending on what state you're in, it could range anywhere from the low end of $178,000 a year for a family of four. Again, this is based on 2 working adults and 2 children. 2 working adults and 2 children, or 2 adults and 2 children in the household. They need to bring in, at the lowest state, $178,000 a year to be comfortable. And what's comfortable that they say on this? Comfortable is the 50-30-20 budgeting method. 50% of your assets, or 50% of your income goes towards necessities, right? Goes towards you just paying rent or mortgage or your utilities or cars or schooling or whatever it is, your necessities, that gets paid for. The 30% goes to discretionary income, so extra stuff, and then the final 20% is going towards saving and investing, So that's the 50-30-20 breakdown. 50% needs, 30% discretionary, which are wants basically, and then 20% investing, saving and investing. By the way, financial tip for you, if you want to get to retirement faster, if you want to get to being wealthy or whatever it is you're trying to get to, lower the discretionary number and raise the investment number. It's that simple. Probably got to lower the necessity number too, but the goal is to raise the investment number, raise the saving and investing number. So anyway, back to the chart. $178,000 to live in Mississippi, family of 4 to live comfortably. California is 277, Texas is 201,000, North Carolina is 209,000, just like Florida, 209,000. I'm in the good old state of Pennsylvania. We got $230,000 a year for us to be able to be comfortable. New York, right above us, is at 279, almost $280,000 a year to be comfortable. I got some friends out in the Washington area, some in the Oregon area, some out in Arizona. Washington and Oregon, $257,000 a year. Family of 4 to live comfortable. 231,000 in Arizona. Guys, I'm not sure how many of you are out there actually making this type of income, family of 4, but if you're not, no wonder why you're feeling the pressures, right? No wonder why. Highest state on this list, by the way, is Massachusetts. Massachusetts coming in at a cool $301,000 a year for a family of 4 to live comfortably. So the fact that we know that you need to make more money, the fact that we know that like you need to bring in a substantial more money than probably what you're making right now is why we do the show. It's why we do the show. It's the reason why we're jumping on and talking about people's cash flow. I know it sounds simple, and I know these are things that oftentimes we overlook because we want to get to the investment, the passive thing, the am I doing the right strategy type stuff. My question is always like, do you have the right strategy of how to make money? Do we have the right strategy of how to bring in the income? Because if not, none of the other stuff really works. You're not going to save and invest and pay off debt and get your kids to college and all this stuff if you haven't figured out how to make income. And by what we just saw on that chart, you need to make a good amount of it in order to live comfortably if that's a goal. Maybe you don't want to live comfortably. Maybe you want to struggle for a while. But most people want to live comfortably to some degree, even though I push against that word. I reject that word comfortable. I think as we seek comfort, we seek complacency, right? We seek mediocrity when we seek comfort. Our lives are not necessarily meant to just be comfortable. We're meant to be uncomfortable. We're meant to grow. We're meant to expand. And the only way to grow and expand is to stay uncomfortable. And so the fact that we seek comfort a lot in our finances and our other areas, it also leads to mediocrity, in my opinion, I guess. Maybe somebody out there, if you don't agree with that, drop a comment, right? Let me know if you don't agree with that and tell me why you don't agree with that. But in my experience, the more that people say, I just want to be comfortable, the less comfortable they are, right? The less comfortable they get. So we're not going to do that with our money. But it is important to think about making more money, right? It is important to think about bringing in additional income. Industries that you choose will help you determine how much money you can bring in. Choosing a good industry, choosing a good career path is something they've been teaching us since high school, right? For some of you before then. But in high school, they started to shape you to think about your career path. What are you going to go to college for if you were lucky enough to go to college? What are you going to do after you graduate, right? It's graduation season right now. So I'm sure a lot of high school and college seniors and even juniors are having these questions asked to them. Hey, what are you going to do after school? Hey, what are you going to do? What are you majoring in college? Whatever the case is. It's oftentimes that we want to get into a solid career path or in a trajectory that's going to take our lives to where we want it. We've talked about this on other BizBuzz lives, other Wednesdays, where we've talked about the fact that we don't know the downsides to a lot of industries. We might know some of the upsides. We might know some of the money that potentially you can make. We might have a friend or an uncle that's actually doing the work that's been there for 15, 20, 25 years, and they have a different perspective of it because they got started earlier, so they're kind of guiding you down that path. But oftentimes, we're only talking about the upside. We're not talking about the downsides. And so when we see these shifts in society, there's a lot of shifts in the landscape of work, of how we're producing income, of how industries are making income. And one of the industries I wanted to highlight today for you was the entertainment industry. The entertainment industry. I have a good buddy that's in the entertainment space, and funny enough, we were just having this conversation. We were having a conversation, jumped on a call together, and he was like, "Hey man, like I'm just kind of a little freaked out because the in like everyone's like in shambles. Like everyone is scrambling, trying to find income, trying to figure out, right, there's no gigs, like studios aren't calling. Like he was a little stressed about the lack of work in Hollywood. And he's solely in it, has been there for some time, right? He's an artist and musician, and right, continues to expand. But he said it's just really slow in the industry right now. And my perspective, right? My perspective is always optimistic, right? Of like, hey, this is when, when the masses think there aren't a lot of opportunities, that's when there are the most opportunities, right? Good old Warren Buffett quote for everyone, or it might have been Charlie Munger. I don't remember who said it, but I think it might have been Buffett. He said, right, and this was more towards the stock market, but it applies in life. Be greedy when people are fearful, and be fearful when people are greedy. Basically, just doing the opposite of human trends. Be like, when people are fearful, that's your time to be like, oh, there's opportunity here. Where can I find the opportunity? How do I dig a little bit deeper? Because there's a lot more when the masses get scared, when they start running, when they start retreating, when they're like, oh, the industry died, it's slow, I don't know what to do, I got to change. That's maybe when you dig in a little bit more, dig your heels in a little bit more, get dirty a little bit more, really get down to the dirt to figure out where's the opportunity, plant some good seeds and watch some good things harvest for you. When people are fearful, it's time to be greedy. When people are greedy, it's time to be a little fearful. Warren Buffett talks about it like the stock market. When people are like, oh, the market's doing amazing, I'm making so much money, oh, things are good, man, it's just going to keep going up. When you hear people in that mode, that's your time to be like, man, something's off. I'm going to get a little reserved here. I'm going to play this one a little bit safer because the masses are riding high right now. So this is just a principle to think about in your life. I use it in mine, right? When others are fearful, be greedy. When others are greedy, be fearful. And in this article, this was from LinkedIn, right? It says Hollywood fears a long recovery. It says, I'll just read the blurb, the headline here for you. It says, for many of Hollywood's tens of thousands of entertainment industry workers, the consequences of last year's strike feel more like rip currents than ripple effects. Local TV production was down 16.2% in the first quarter compared to last year, as cash-strapped studios and streamers cut back on shows and episodes per series. The growing number of productions also leaving the state. Some crew members wonder if the industry they love will ever recover. Down here, it said movies brought in just $128 million, just $128 million over Memorial Day weekend, making it the worst box office showing in 26 years. The worst. So we're watching another industry. We're watching another industry in the midst of some turmoil, in the midst of some changes, in the midst of some redesigning and restructuring. But in that industry, there's tens of thousands of you that are affected. We're not just affected as a consumer because we still get movies. We can now have 75 different streaming platforms and the internet, right? And social media. So we can figure out like how to consume the movie. But the people that are in the production crews, that are doing the music, that are doing, right, the lighting, that are doing the makeup, that are actually holding the cameras, that are cleaning up, that are, right, running food, like whatever it is that people are doing on sets, tens of thousands of people right now are not getting called back. There's no opportunity. There's not opportunities like there were before. So people are getting scared. People are getting scared. These are people that, and again, I have empathy for everybody whose industry takes a shift. I have empathy for everyone whose industry takes a shift because that's inevitable. Every industry shifts. Every industry shifts, right? I mean, what, 60 years ago, 70 years ago, uh, somebody had to stop making horse and carriages, or right, like buggies, because the car was coming out. Right, at some point it had to all shift, that no one needed to raise horses as much, because that's not our means of travel. So industries will constantly change, just as horse and buggy and the carriage turned into the automobile and the whole industry changed. We are watching industries currently change. Question is, what are you doing about it? What are you doing about your industry? And are you getting into industries that are actually progressing, that are going to be here in the next 10, 12, 15, 20 years? Hollywood, it's happening to them right now. We're watching it. Hollywood's been around for a long time, long-standing staple. TV, film, right? All the stuff that happens out in Hollywood, great. However, with the advent of technology, with the ability to stream more and all those things, people don't need to go to Hollywood to be successful in the industry. That's how it used to be. It used to be, to make it, you got to get to Hollywood. You can get your big break in Hollywood. You fly out to LA, you become a server or a bartender, and you have 5 roommates. You rent a room because rents are really crazy in Southern California, and then you go pursue your dream. You hope that one day you get a chance to meet a director, or you get a chance to meet a screenwriter and they write you into something. Like, that was the goal. That was how the industry operated. But ever since last year, where right, they went on strike, right? They had that writer strike, hurt the industry. Hurt the industry. Those tens of thousands of people, of workers that are around the industry, when production starts slowing down, when the industry starts slowing down, said another way, right? If you were in corporate America, when revenue starts slowing down, when you stop bringing in money, you have to cut labor. Now, in Hollywood, everyone's on a 1099 or some type of independent contractor, and just kind of hire for need, right? Work for hire type of basis. But regardless, if nobody's calling you back and there's no opportunities, I guess you got to figure out something different. You got to figure out something different. But we're watching this happen in Hollywood. We're watching this happen with lots of industries out there. Hollywood just happened to be one of the industries that this popped up on LinkedIn, so we got a chance to dive into it. But this is happening. I mean, we saw it happen in tech last year, where everyone was getting laid off. We're seeing it happen in restaurants right now. I'm going to hone in on this hospitality side of things, because I really believe that the industry is in trouble for what we've seen of it, what we knew of it, because there's not a lot of people that want to do it, right? Not a lot of the working class. Like, you got young people, you got old people, everything in the middle doesn't want to work there. The industries, right? Restaurants aren't making as much money. People aren't traveling as much for hotels. Like, the hospitality industry is another industry that's just right on its decline, so it seems, for a redesign. But again, if you're listening and you're in the restaurant space, disruption is the key to you building wealth, to you getting financially independent, for you being able to get some time freedom. It's you thinking, instead of saying, hey, the way I've been working at this restaurant in Hollywood, wherever it is, right, in tech, the way I've been doing this isn't necessarily going to continue to work out. I was taking what was given to me. That's what was happening. I was taking what was given to me. There's a lot of activity. I do this. I can then make money from it, right? There's a lot of restaurants I can serve. I'm going to go serve. Now, what if there's not a lot of restaurants? Then what do you do? What if there's not a lot of opportunities to make films, because there's not a lot of TV shows and things happening in your area? Then what do you do? Here's what you do. You grow your skill set. You grow your skill set. You either take the skill set that you have and put it into a different vessel, meaning a different industry, a different career path, a different way for you to make money. You take the same skill set you learned at whatever job you have or whatever career, and you move it somewhere because, right, our characteristics are, what's the word I'm looking for? I just lost the word. I was just saying it a bunch. The values, the things that we have, skill sets. There we go. Talent, skill sets. That's weird. Anyway, your skill sets, right, can transfer from one industry to another. Your talents can transfer from one industry to another. Just because you started in Hollywood as a writer or as a PA, I'm not sure, right? Whatever your industry or whatever you did, there's another industry that can use the same skill sets. You might not be doing the exact same work, but it's your same skill set that you possess. That's one way to do it. Take your same skill set, move it to a different industry. Otherwise, grow your skill sets. If you want to stay in the industry, if you believe in your industry so much, like, no, this is going to come back around or this is going to get better, then you're thinking about it like there's opportunity there, which means you need to dive deeper. You need to get more skill sets. You need to learn how to do more than what you are currently doing in your own industry. So for the people in Hollywood, you were a lighting person. You did lights and lighting. All right. Well, do you know how to work a camera? Have you ever figured out how to work a camera? Do you know who else needs lighting? Do you know where to get lights from? Do you know how to set them up? Because maybe there's an opportunity for you to teach people how to set up lighting in their house or set up lighting in their studio. Maybe there's an opportunity for you to create something that is a product that helps people light up their studio a lot more efficiently because you know a lot about the bulbs because you've been working on lights and lighting angles for the past 10 years. So can you dive a bit deeper into what you're already doing or go off, transfer your skill set to another place? Like I said, just lock in and get better with what you already are doing, right? Already currently in the position of doing. Still there? Did I freeze? My screen froze. However, I'm going to keep talking. All right, y'all. Look like it had some technical difficulties on it. Little technical difficulties, nothing crazy. Little technical issues. But I guess I got to log off because I don't know if you can hear me. I don't think you can see me anymore.